Hello everybody, we are here with our BASTET guide today. Starting off with, of course, our Assassin's Blessing, Tier 1 Mace, our health potion, Hand of the Gods, and against this composition, we should be fine to go a blink. BASTET right now doesn't love this whole Golden Blade auto attack meta jungler thing. But that doesn't mean that she's not viable at all. It just means that she's not at the tippity top, but we can still play her decently. So we are going to be getting our Razor Whip, our second ability first here, and we're going to be running through her abilities. To start off, BASTET's passive. When you hit an enemy, you mark them for a brief time. Mark targets leave behind a scent trail. BASTET can follow, gaining movement speed in the scent trail. So basically, you kind of know how like Arachne 3 works, where you leave behind the web and you basically run at them faster. Same kind of concept where you hit them and then they leave behind a little blood trail for you and you can follow them faster. Kind of just the way like Arachne 3 works, kind of like the way Erendite works. You just kind of run at the targets faster. Helps her chase down people when they're trying to get away. Not a bad passive, actually. Certainly not a weak passive. Your second ability, this is the ability that we get at level 1 for our clear, and it's also going to be the ability that we max first. This is your Razor Whip. Razor Whip is actually a pretty straightforward ability. It is a bleed inside of a cone. So anybody hit inside of your cone will take damage every second for 4 seconds. Nothing crazy with that ability. BASTET's first ability is Pounce. This is kind of her unique aspect of her kit, and it is a double jump. So you jump to a location, you do damage upon landing at that location, and then within the next few seconds, you will have the opportunity to jump back from the location that you jumped from. You have 4 seconds to do so. Your jump back is actually 25% faster than your initial jump. Oh, speaking of damage right here. So your pounce in is actually slower than your pounce back. So you get back to your original location a little bit faster than you left it. I gotta be careful here with this Janice. That's actually his portal down. Woo! Trying to avoid some Nemesis action. We're actually probably gonna die here, but that's okay because we got the kill anyway. So that's not big of a deal. Our third ability on BASTET, your hardest ability to hit by far, is this small line where you throw out a kitty cat. It's also one of the only abilities of hers that's actually kind of a little bit complicated. You throw out a kitty cat. That kitty cat will root for 0.5 seconds if it directly hits the target. After that, the cat will stay around and continue to attack the target for 4 seconds or until the cat dies. The cats have 2 HP, basically 2 bars, where if you auto attack it twice, it dies no matter what. It's not like an actual HP or damage marker. It's just 2 actual auto attacks will put it down. But while the cat is alive and running around and chasing the target, it will also constantly do damage and apply a bleed to them. It will also apply a bleed to them, which is quite nice. The minion can also die. It can also die to minions and stuff. And that works basically just like the way that like Kaldir does, where it needs extra minion hits to take away that HP. I do believe that's 5 standardly per 5 hits is how the lane minions will get rid of it. So you can't totally use it to just like sit there and tank objectives for you for forever. But they actually are pretty good at tanking eventually. And we'll talk about that here with our ultimate. So your ultimate on BASTET is not like a lot of the other ultimates that we've talked about in the guides up until this point. It is actually a stim. So her ultimate is not a ability necessarily at all. It is a buff. So one, it buffs her up, and her abilities do 20%, 20% additional damage, up to 40% additional damage, and it makes her 3 abilities modified and gives them something else on top of what it normally does. So let's go ahead and use it. Chasing down, oh, we're gonna chase you down, chase down the nemesis. So what happened there is we pop our ultimate. Our abilities do 20% more damage, and they get modified. That effect lasts on us for 12 seconds. It's very long. Our 1, when you have your ultimate pop, your 1 becomes a giant pounce, so your cats pounce with you. Basically, this is making the area of effect, the damage area of your 1, basically 3 times the size. On your bleed, this is going to command the guardians to swipe at the enemies. So Razor Whip here doing extra damage. On the 3, this is honestly the most important one. Instead of throwing out 1 cat, it actually throws out 3 cats. It throws out 3 cats, and those 3 cats are all doing damage. Those 3 cats can all tank auto attacks. The whole shebang. You can see that if I miss my 3, it doesn't actually do the root effect. You have to land the 3 directly in order for it to root. Otherwise, the cat will just chase down the nearest target, and it will still do the slow. And so that's the interaction with BASTET in all of her abilities. The most important, like I said, that 3rd ability summons out 3 cats. While it's good for the damage and the slow and all that stuff, most importantly, if you're fighting somebody like a hunter, it's so many auto attack body blocks, it's ridiculous. Now keep in mind, your 3 also, the kitty cats cannot be hit by abilities. So like a raw beam, whatever, is not gonna slay it. Has to be actual factual auto attacks or when they time out after 4 seconds. Khepri's ultimate is down right here. So I'm gonna listen over this wall. I'm gonna jump over this wall and just kind of see. There's nothing for me really to do. You can use BASTET jump as kind of a scouting ability. You can see I jumped over that wall right there to see if I wanted to go look for something. There wasn't anything really in my range. I've got a 4-second timer that I know I can just hop right on back and be safe. Or in this case, I hop over the wall. I realize danger, Will Robinson. There's a nemesis right there. So I hop right on back. Do be careful when you're using a BASTET jump like this, because if you get CC'd for the duration of your jump, you will not be able to jump back. So let's say you jump out, you wait 2 seconds, you're about to jump back, and then you get stunned for 2 seconds. That's it. Your jump effect will go away. You won't be able to jump back, and now you're in the danger zone without a getaway skill. So you can use it offensively like that. Another great way to use it is to jump in, try to land an ability for some poke. So throw down a little like that, boom, throw in a little damage bleed right there, and then jump right back out to safety. Once again, at any time that you're going to be using this ability aggressively, just make sure you're being careful. Right now you can see the damage output though. When you pop BASTET ultimate, your abilities hit hard. I pop my ultimate, I pop my 3, I pop my bleed. It is swinging. So let's talk about the complete level order here on BASTET. For me, my level order is 2, 4, 1, 3. This is the way that I like to level up BASTET. I find that the Razor Whip and Guardians is your main source of damage. Excuse me, I said that wrong. 2, 4, 3, 1. is how I like to level up BASTET. I like to use the Razor Whip as my main source of damage. Of course, getting straight percentage extra damage on your abilities from your ultimate is amazing. So you want to make sure to level that up. Then I level up the kitty cats and finally the jump. While the jump does do good burst damage, I level it up last because I often want to use my jump as some sort of getaway skill. And you're basically never using like the 3 as a getaway skill. So I find it's just a way to make sure that I have more damage overall in every single fight. So once again, on that level order, that is going to be 2, 4, 3, 1. I got a second point in my jump this game because I misclicked. I either misclicked earlier or I needed the extra burst damage really quick for a kill, and I actually don't remember. I don't remember, but you'll have the video to watch. Okay, get that point in our ulti right there. On BASTET as well, we have gone Warrior Tabi into Jotun's Wrath for our build. You're looking for big fat power stacking on BASTET. Big fat power stacking. Your damage is going to come from your abilities. I'm actually going to look for a little bit of aggression right here on the Janice. I'm going to throw down the 3 and the 2. I got to be very careful now. I'm going to try to get myself out of this one. The jump is back up. I'm going to come back for a little root. Throw down some more kitty cats and then get absolutely blown up through space and time. That was a deep through space and time to hit me right in the dome. As our third item, we're going to be going into Transcendence, and then fourth item, Heartseeker. Cooldown and power is your absolute mandatory build that you're doing on BASTET. It doesn't have to necessarily be exactly these items, but your goal on BASTET is you want to get these scaling as high as possible. That cat damage is every auto. That bleed is 4 different ticks. Plus you're getting all this bonus damage from your ulti. So you're looking for big power items and you're looking for cooldown in order to be able to use them more often. For me, I find that Jotun's Wrath into Transcendence is always a safe option. You get 30% cooldown, you get a bunch of damage, you get some pent, and then you trade that, you change that into a Heartseeker. The Heartseeker gives you more flat pent on top of your Jotun's Wrath. Bada bing, bada boom. If you need anti-heal, this game I didn't need anti-heal, then instead of the Jotun's Wrath, you're going to get the Brawler's Beat Stick. You're not going to have the cooldown, which is a bummer, but when you have to get anti-heal, you just have to get it. So in that case, I would go Brawler's Warriors Tabi, and then the Transcendence. BASTET actually becomes pretty good at soloing objectives. Particularly things, I'm going to run over here and quickly try to get to my boy. I'm going to pop my ultimate first, throwing down the root onto this Nemesis, then my 2. Her shield is down, throw down the 1 for some bonus damage, and watch the kitties do their job. Now, if I use the kitties early, I should be able to get 1 more triple kitty out. There we go. Kitties are typically your first ability that you're throwing out in a fight. Why? Because if you land it, it's a root. It sets up the rest of your abilities. Kind of like actually on Baron, how we used our 3 before the rest of our kit because it was our setup ability. Same concept on BASTET. Also, if you use your cats early inside of the ultimate, right? The duration is 12 seconds. If you use your kitty cats early, you can see that their cooldown is 9.6 seconds. So if you ulti and then 3, it'll come back up and you'll actually be able to use it twice before your ultimate is over. I prefer cats as my ability that gets used twice. You get the extra double CC, you get all the kitty cats, they're blocking all the autos. I find that it is the most useful ability to be getting off twice in these fights. Backing up, we're gonna finish up our Transcendence. We're gonna get our Purification Meat, start getting some wards out. I'm gonna go be looking at a like a fire portal. I should be able to solo without any issue. As long as I pop my ultimate and then use my 3, the kitty cats will start to tank the Pyromancer. Same thing with Gold Fury. They'll start to take the Gold Fury. Gold Fury is a little bit hard to kill, so you might not be able to do it by yourself super early. but BASTET definitely able to solo objectives. But every time I try to go over and do this, I feel like there's a fight gonna break out. Okay, so here we go. We pop down our 3. It's gonna go ahead and start tanking that for us. Keep yourself right on the edge of the Pyromancer, because what's gonna happen is it's gonna reset after every single kitty cat and go back for you. You can see that the Pyromancer's AoE attack does count against those kitty cats, but because they tanked so much for us, we can actually solo it here at the 14-minute marker. Like I said, when you're taking that Pyromancer, keep yourself right at the edge. Every time one of your cats dies, it's going to reset the aggro to you. So just make sure you can kind of walk in and out and in and out and in and out of that aggro range, making sure not to reset it for too long with all your cats die. You can see it got a little bit of HP back when all the cats died, and I had to come back into the range, but that's not a big deal. Exact same concept with the Gold Fury. If you want to go solo the Gold Fury, you throw down your ulti, pop your cats first. That way they'll come back up again, so you can use them twice for the tanking. In and out of the Gold Fury range. In and out of the Gold Fury range. No problemo. Speaking of, I'm going to throw down a Sentry Ward over on this Gold Fury, because they've got one here. I'm going to do the Oracles kind of while I'm waiting. And then I'm going to try to get myself a little gold action going as well. I'm going to call attack the Gold Fury from my team. I'm going to pop my ultimate. I'm going to pop my 3. And I'm going to start this Gold Fury action. You can see that it is now reset to me. So I try to bring it outside to the range. I messed it up a little bit right there. That's going to be okay. We're going to get our kitty cats back. I'm going to use my blade. Stay right here on the range. Bada bing, bada boom. We've got Gold Fury down to half HP. Unfortunately, the solo laner is here. That's a bummer. I'm going to try to go in and secure it and get out. Didn't quite get it. We lose the Gold Fury there. That's okay. I think our Kronos got distracted over in duo lane because he didn't actually rotate over to the fight. I don't know if he was fighting the Jingwei. What exactly what's happening over there, but we're going to actually get the tier 2 tower over in solo. Because that tier rotated all the way over from solo lane to come defend this Gold Fury. This is actually not even a bad trade for us because we're going to get all those towers over and right. And if they overstay their welcome here in mid, we might be able to find ourselves an extra little kill. We just got to be careful around this CC potential combo. Ooga booga booga booga. Kronos is shoving up and left. I'm gonna try to stop them from backing right now. This is less to kill them and more to make sure that nobody rotates over towards our Kronos. I'm gonna jump in. I'm looking for some damage. See if I can get. I'm not gonna be able to get in range. So I'm gonna head back over towards the Kronos. We got the tier 2 left, the tier 2 right. Jingwei used her dash, tried to hit him. Ooh, I was gonna go for the Jingwei, but now that the Nemesis is here, looking pretty tasty, but also pretty dang risky. You can't always chase, even with BASTET's passive, you can't always chase all the way. If you can't get the target that you're looking for, if you're not gonna be able to finish off the 1 HP target, keep in mind that like BASTET has pretty good just like generic AoE damage. If you hit that cone, on 2 or 3 targets, that's actually a lot of damage output into a fight, even if it's not like a typical assassin one-shot dealio. Ooh, that's gonna be a load, Janice. You can see the little blood trail. With that blood trail, I get that extra movement speed when I'm chasing him. Unfortunately, bonus movement speed against the Janice doesn't mean much because he's one of the faster mages and what the? He's crazy! He thought I was still chasing him, and so he tried to portal away, but he actually portaled right back into me. That is unfortunate for him, not for me. We're getting close to our Heartseeker. Heartseeker, I would qualify as a mandatory item on BASTET. I really do think that Transcendence and Heartseeker are the 2 most important items on BASTET. Everything else is a little bit more situational to your taste, whether you need anti-heal, whether you're feeling like a little bit more cooldown, a little bit more burst, whatever. But Transcendence just because of the raw power for your abilities, and Heartseeker because of the passive. Keep in mind that in the mid-season patch, Heartseeker is actually getting slightly buffed. They're reducing the gold cost of it, so it is going to be easier to purchase, but Heartseeker is going to, of course, give you a bunch of power, penetration, mana, all good stuff. But what we're really looking at is the passive. Your abilities deal an additional 3% of the target's maximum health as physical damage. If you have over 200 physical power, which of course we're going to with this big fat power build, then it goes and scales up to 6% of a target's maximum health at that power. Subsequent hits on the same target do less damage. That's okay. We don't care. It still does bonus damage. That's all we're looking for. Basically, with Heartseeker, you're scaling bonus damage off of your ulti with bonus damage off your Heartseeker, so you got bonus damage on your bonus damage on your bonus damage, and you can see why that is good. I'm going to continue the aggression over here. I think Nemesis was trying to be tricksy, but look at the kitty cats go, baby! Not quite going to be able to pick up the kill. But this is where BASTET actually starts to get really good. So BASTET's early game isn't that great. It's the weakest part of her game. She actually gets stronger as the game goes on. Now, you're never going to turn into a, a late game Mercury going around doing 1,200 damage crit one shot. But her mid to late game team fight is quite respectable. And you're really gonna find that you hit your stride when you get that Heartseeker finished. As soon as it's finished, that's when you get to your power zone. And so what you're looking to do in teamfight as BASTET, you are of course an assassin, which means your primo job is looking for squishies in the backline. You're going to be popping your ultimate before you use any of your abilities, and then you're going to either be jumping into the backline and looking to bleed them for the kill, or rooting them and then bleeding them for the kill. Like I said earlier, my personal preference, I think the kitty cats are the way to go, and then follow up with your bleed. That way you can always save your jump for getting away. Walls are a friend of BASTET, and not because your abilities go through them. Your abilities on BASTET do not go through walls. We're going to be working on a Hydras as our next item. This is a little bit spicy, but I love Hydras on BASTET if you can get it. You'll see why in a second. Your 2 does not go through walls. Your 3 does not go through walls. Your ultimate is obviously a stim. So your abilities don't go through walls, but you keep yourself in a wonderful spot. This is a little greedy to go this far. That's a really, really greedy stay on my part. I was trying to get the absolute most damage off right there before using my jump to come back. But if you give yourself a nice jump over a wall, you can always jump back over the wall. And that's really how you get away a lot of times. So typically, if you're trying to run away on BASTET, what you're going to do, you're going to bait a target to a wall. You're going to jump over that wall. That's going to force them to jump over the wall at you. And then you jump back to your original location. Now they have no way to get over the wall at you. Unless they have a jump and a blink, in which case you should probably have blink too. And you can blink back over the wall again. So you could do a little jump here, they jump over the wall, you jump back, they blink, you blink back over the wall. You've always got something to deal with what they're throwing at you. You just got to be swift on the trigger. Not going to use my ultimate here. Shouldn't need it. Should be able to just get off the base damage. So Hydras. Hydras is a great late game item. It works particularly well in this type of BASTET build, right? I'm going this giant full power build. Well, what is Heartseeker like? Heartseeker loves big power builds. For 8 seconds after using ability, your next basic attack will deal an additional 40% damage. That 40% damage, of course, is going to be increased by how much power you have.
No problem.
So we're getting these huge, big, fat auto attacks. Wham! That's an 804 auto attack. That's on a minion. Obviously, it won't be that much against a player. That's because I get the bonus Assassin's Blessing. At the ultra late stages of the game, I actually like red buff on BASTET, especially if you can get like a red buff from the enemy jungle camp, because this is buffing up your Heartseeker damage, because this is buffing up everything, it means that your burst damage potential is stupid. Look at this burst damage. That is a Khepri support, folks, and we are doing this much damage to him. That's a tier. We're throwing it down. We've got the flat pen. BASTET's burst damage, if you can get a big fat power build like this online, if you can get... Oh my, that's a 400 auto attack, regular, after a 400 ability, after all of this. Woo, baby. This is what you're looking for on the BASTET. You've got to embrace the power. You've got to become one with the power. Now, you can... Your minions do not give backdoor protections, so keep that in mind. No minions give backdoor protections in Smite, so you can't throw out your little kitty cat and assume it's just gonna tank the tank it like a minion and give you those backdoor protections. But you can use the kitty cat. You can use it to tank 2 autos. Or if you have your ultimate online, you can throw the cat in there to tank upwards of 6 autos. You won't actually get 6 because they'll disappear from time before. But you get the idea of being able to use kitty cats. Much like the way they can take objectives, they can also tank towers. They just don't give you the backdoor protections that like a regular minion does. This works really well during like Phoenix fights when you're throwing in the kitty cats anyway. Just go do damage like this. You throw them in, they start tanking, so you don't even have to worry about it. Speaking of things to not worry about, I'm gonna throw the kitty cats back in one more time. Even though I wasn't like necessarily aiming at a target, I could see that my ultimate was about to run out, so I wanted to make sure I got that maximum. Ooh, that was such a good Janus portal. Such a good Janus portal. I'm gonna throw in the kitty cat once again. Make sure there is a creep in range that can potentially tank as I come over for this Janus. I'm just gonna run out this way. Remember, you don't have to use your jump back if you don't want to. You've always got the option to, kind of like where Chalk, where you throw out your 1 and then sometimes you use your 2 to teleport to it, sometimes you don't. Use that to bait your opponents. If you start jumping back every single time, they're just gonna know that you do it, but that's okay, because then the next time, you just don't jump back. You just keep on walking straight. You just keep on going. If they always think you're gonna do something, switch it up on them. Kitty cat first, Hydras auto, 2, Hydras auto, jump, Hydras auto. Make sure, once you get your Hydras online, as with all gods that you buy Hydras on, get your auto attack weaving in between all your abilities. All that means is that because Hydras procs on your abilities, you want to go ability, auto attack, ability, auto attack, ability, auto attack to make sure you're getting the maximum efficacy from your Hydras. As my last item here, in my regular tree, I'm gonna grab a Blood Forge. This should really come as no surprise. 1 big fat power item stacks up with all of the things that we've been running, our Hydras, our Heartseeker, all of it. 2, it's gonna give us a little bit of extra survivability in these team fights. We should have no problem basically acquiring a kill, which means we should almost always get that Blood Forge proc. At the very end of the game, when I sell Warrior Tabi, if I'm feeling vulnerable, always feel free to grab a Mantle of Discord. It's the best defense item in the game, especially if you're only gonna get 1 defense item. It can get you out of so much trouble. Nothing wrong with that. If I didn't need a defense item, I might legit just go another power item, commit to that full damage. Opa! Speaking of the damage, woo! I'm gonna jump right on back, keep myself safe. That's a very low Khepri, that's a very low Jing. I'm looking towards this tier. He used his blink. I'm waiting for him to ulti right now. Gonna jump right on top of his jump so that it doesn't do the damage on me. I get that Blood Forge proc now, so I can stick around and keep fighting. That is a Nemesis ult down. I'm gonna wait for her to kind of dash away. I know she needs to be getting away from this. Try to jump on him in the back, hit him with the root, jump all the way back to my original location, and then come back into this room. We can probably start to look, actually, never mind. I was gonna say we could start to look at the Titan, but we actually can't unless we get 1 more kill on, whoa, Kuma's here. This is a little risky, but I don't hate it. As long as I keep throwing down my kitty cats. No, we're not gonna have the damage. Just retreat, that's fine. We're gonna get the right side Phoenix down again. We've got 2 Phoenixes down. Titan actually took a little bit of damage. Unfortunately, we needed just 1 more player kill in order to grab that right there. But still an overall win for us, and we're gonna get a bunch of farm, and we can get set up for the next fire giant. All right, grab this red buff. I'm gonna back it up. Grab this red buff. I had 1 second left on my speed. I almost missed it. Now, to get our elixir of speed, let's get a sentry ward. I'm gonna grab a potion of power.
An enemy has left the game.
Just because
Poor thing.
I want to get a little bit of extra damage out here. I've got that. I've got the my full build. I've grabbed the movement speed pot just in case the game continues to go on. If something happens, they had a disconnect here at the end. What if we had a disconnect? You never know when the game's gonna keep going. So you want to make sure you're trying to prep as best as you can to be ready for the inevitable, as is the case in Smite. Disconnects are not uncommon. I'm gonna throw down my ultimate, throw down my kitty cats on the fire giants, have them tank it for just a little bit right there, throw down the kitty cats again. Even if they're not necessarily tanking an objective for you, they're also doing a lot of damage with all of those auto attacks that they have. I mean, by this stage of the game, look at this cat damage. 40 plus 155. You can have 3 titty tats out in the world. Just think about that. I throw out a kitty cat right now. It goes to tank the Phoenix for me, which lets me get in range. I get in range of it, get my Hydras procs on it, boom! Well, that's a dead Phoenix. That is a perfectly viable way to use BASTET. I'm gonna blink in. Look at the roof. Look at the damage coming out. Whoop! Get that Blood Forge proc. Pop a bead to get out of there. Attack the Titan and wrap this one up.
Excellent.
Now listen, BASTET is not the best god in the game right now, but she is certainly viable. I'd put her right around A tier. What you're looking to do, as we did, big power, abuse the damage that she has built into her kit and the bonus damage you get from her ulti. Pair that with things like Heartseeker that do their own bonus damage on top of it, and make sure you are utilizing as best as you can her jump. It really is the most unique part of her kit, and that will allow you to juke people, get into fights, get out. You can use it for poke, for getaway. You can use it to get in range of a root to set up your team. You can use it to bait somebody, to use a blink or a jump. You've got a lot of options there. So get creative with it and just be careful that you're not getting CC'd for the end when you need to be jumping back, guys. And that is our BASTET guy.